Good morning, Everstrong family, and happy Sunday, October the 5th. So today's message in church was absolutely spectacular. And it also just one minute verse that I find probably most people would say is probably the most trivial verse in the New Testament, but it actually stood out to me as being very, very impactful. It's in the book of Acts, chapter 11, and my pastor brought it out, and I just love how he really expounded on it. So at the very, very end of near the end of chapter 11, but the very, very end of chapter 11:26, it basically just states that it was in Antioch that believers were first called Christians. That's a big deal. And I'll draw some similarities here from our culture to theirs, but very simply, in that area of the world, if you were a Jew, you'd refer to yourself as a Jew or a Hebrew. If you were a Jew who's not from Jerusalem or from, Israel, you'd refer to yourself as a Jew and then your location. So you're a Jewish Roman, right? Pretty easy to follow because they identify with their faith above all. Christians were different because they were the first group of people who was just this melting pot of cultures, Jews and Gentiles, Romans, people, and of course area specific. So people, Greeks versus just plain general Romans, and just people from all over, but they were referred to as Christians. This giant melting pot community that was gathered together in the name of Christ. Now, mind you, Christian was not necessarily a compliment. It was just like a bunch of weirdos, but what a great thing, man. What a great thing to be referred to not by your location, not by your gender, not by your race, but by your faith. Here in America, a lot of people are like, well, I'm a Californian, or I'm a Coloridian, or in my case, I'm technically from Idaho, even though I lived in Idaho, Colorado, California, Nevada, North Dakota. I lived all over. Before anybody asks, no, I'm not a military brat. I've just traveled a lot in my life, at least in the United States. Very well cultured of the United States. But people would say, well, I'm from this state, or I'm from this college. But how great is it that we are united in Christ? That no matter where we come from, our gender, our color, our nationality, we are unified in Christ. So this is not a message of challenging. This is just a message of encouragement, especially, from the Apostle Barnabas, the apostle of encouragement. What an amazing thing. We are all unified for Christ's glory. So that being said, I'm going to probably do a few more posts today, but what an encouragement that we are not alone. We not only have God at our side, but we have other Christians, Christian, Christ-like people who we associate with, that we are from. God bless.